Hello and welcome to Riff Views. Oh, X-23, X-23. Oh, Mariko. I was going to do this last night, but, Mr. Excitement, I fell asleep at like 9:30 on a Friday night. I was so tired, but because of that, now my sleep schedule is all screwed up, which is why I just put up a video for, getting the Fallout collection. And I figured, you know what, I was going to do this last night, and well, it's Saturday morning, might as well do it now and get another video up later, so it'll be kind of a whole bunch of videos. But anyway, let's take a look at this. First off, I have to talk about this cover. I do not, I really haven't liked the covers, but this one I do not like. You see, let's look at this. We have the Judge by the Hips. This is the cyber clone attacking Laura. And, okay, look at the placement of her arm. Puts her fist pretty much on the same plane, maybe even a little bit closer to the camera, as you could say, than her face. And she's blocking the blade. That's, you know, it looks like she should be getting just hit in the head with the this part of whatever it is. I'm having trouble following the lines because the arm here should be like back against her, and on a technical aspect, as far as the coloring, it looks good, but this is not right. This is not, in theater terms, staged well, and it's not a good cover. You see, now that we have the Stanley, and this has been one of my gripes, I know they're in a hurry to do something. They had to, change. I've complained about this with other issues. We got the tiny little X-23 logo down here. Without the logo at the top, it really it really makes a bad cover. It's not actiony enough, it's not interesting enough, and at least it's not Laura's trying to stab you in the face, but it just looks like one of those trading cards Marvel used to do. So let's just jump right into the issue. Black pages, blah blah blah, Stan Lee, we've done all this. We pick up immediately, right after the events of last year, last issue. I guess it was last year. I only point this out because Mariko loves to start with flashbacks. And so, as you know, they fought the assassin, found out that she's like a cybernetically enhanced clone of Laura, and now they're being attacked. So, Laura calls Beast in, who has just left, and he's even annoyed by her. I just taken off in the X-copter. What is it, X-23? Incoming armed unfriendlies, heavy fire. And the helicopter gets hit, and Beast says, Laura says, I think we need a lift. I believe you will. I will be there momentarily. Thankfully, I have a little light artillery to clear the way. But he has to plug it into a wall outlet first, you see. Nah, it's just some type of energy railgun. This is one of my problems with Mariko Tamaki. She did this in the She-Hulk series. She's doing it again here. I think she's done it in previous books in the run. Okay, Beast flying a helicopter with a cool energy gun, firing back, and counterattacking, sounds awesome. Why are we not seeing this? Why introduce this? Or why, you can even say, I'll circle around, lay it down, cover fire. And then, and then you can go back to the story. No, you're going to show this really cool, like, okay, this looks awesome. This looks like it's going to be cool. I want to see what's going to happen. You're not going to see it. You're not going to see what he does. And yeah, maybe it's a pet peeve. Maybe I make too much of it, but she does this all the time. So we go back to Laura and Honey Badger, and Honey Badger is making the case that she's coming with us, being the clone, and Laura is all, yes, it is coming with us, but only because we don't know what it is yet. She keeps dehumanizing the cyber clone, which is so interesting. She knows Cable. I mean, she knows Cable. So Honey Badger, some of the art. Goofy face. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna do that thing where there's all the shooting people. Give me 2 minutes. Now, I don't read young adult fiction. Um, and so I find it interesting that all the books, I just mentioned this in Carol, in the Captain Marvel book, they have to put in these young teen characters, Honey Badger, I looked it up, she's like 12 or 13. And maybe it's just something, I thought young adult novels skewed a little bit older. I thought they were like 16-year-olds. Um, and it's funny because you remember comic books, sidekicks were all, Robin was about the only acceptable sidekick. It was a bad idea, you know, um, and don't bring the kids into it unless maybe it's a kid of New Mutants, but we're not going to team up kids with adults. Yet that's what they're doing in the books now. You're seeing it more and more, and I had to point that out. It's I'm wondering if it has something to do with all these authors being young adult authors, that they are more comfortable writing kids. And I mentioned in the last issue that in the last review for the previous issue, Mariko wants to write a Honey Badger book because the lore we see in this book is not as cool as the lore we see in X-Men. And Honey Badger, you can see all the attention is put on her. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Um, but it kind of works in this. We get this great little smirk, and then we get these. I'm hating the page layouts they've been doing lately, but look at this. Hi everybody. You know, and then she just goes and starts gutting people and attacking. Got your face, and flippy thing here. You guys are pretty bad at this. And an elbow, and then we get this. Ta-da! Now, I'm really not sure. We get the wink and weird arm pose, and uh, this whole thing feels just a little. I don't know. It kind of makes me uncomfortable. I don't know. Something feels off about this pose, this panel. Uh, it feels like it needs something. I'm just not quite sure what. Yeah, it's just, I feel very disturbed by this. Anyway, they make their escape, and as they're running for the helicopter, Laura has the cyber clone on her shoulder, and um, Gabby says, got two more, and Laura sees one off to the side and kicks the guard. You see this? This is about the only badass thing you'll see Laura do in her own book. Technically, there is a second thing. There's two things. But the other thing is, I'll get to that in a second. I always say that, but I will. This is just, she kicks someone. Yeah. Mariko, you do know she has the whole claws. She even has toe claws. She'd even use the toe claws. I know she doesn't kill anymore, but yeah. Mariko, do you remember X-23? This is her book. Yeah, and she's doing an escort mission. Yeah. So they get the ka-chow spoken sound effect. Hi, Hank. And as they're making their getaway, the clone gets just grazed in the cheek, and um, Laura grabs the clone's arm, and then shoots this EMP pulse. Hey, and Hank gets them, and they escape. But this is, I can't even say this is the other cool thing, because how did Laura do this? She just lifted the clone's arm. You can say maybe she was kind of awake for this or whatever. Is there a trigger on the wrist that she was able to do? Able to launch the attack? How does she do this? It's like picking up Iron Man's gauntlet and just pointing it at something and it automatically shoots. So the kick, I can't even count that. I don't even know how that worked or how she knew it would work. Or the kick, that's the only cool thing Laura does in her own book. So they go back to the the X Mansion, the Institute in Central Park, which, if you've been reading X-Men, doesn't really exist anymore. And Hank's test confirmed, yeah, she's the clone. Yes and no. There appear to be subtle differences, but I need to do more tests. Although one thing I do notice, with regard to her healing factor. She's not healing. This is really not a very good clone. It appears the entity's healing ability is considerably compromised. Although maybe it's kind of like Cable, where his telekinesis was holding his techno-organic virus in check. That's why he wasn't so rampagingly powerful. Or even Wolverine, who, because of the antimadium skeleton and claws, his healing factor is always compensating for that. So when he doesn't have that, his healing factor is through the roof. So we do a scene change, as it's basically a presentation from this Walter White dude. I think his name's Dr. Chandler from Alchemax, talking about why this clone cyborg is better than X-23 because they have control. And the trigger scent didn't work, but they removed the human factor. So see, don't know why we had to show the robot legs, but anyway, we go back to the Xavier Institute, and I gotta get through. We're almost done with this book, and Laura's telling her, "Don't get attached, okay?" What does that mean? It means I don't have a good feeling about all this, so don't get attached, because it's a machine made of part of us. So Laura is all about, I'm going to stop here, because Laura is all about this thing not being human, even though she's been trying to rescue the clones and all that. Laura is kind of unlikable in her own book, and it's like Carol's a bitch in hers. Laura is, I know she's supposed to be more stoic and whatever, but she's, no sympathy for this person that's a clone of them who probably didn't choose to be a cyborg. Oh yeah, and then there's a part at the end I did cut out. Yeah, there is eating. They did put snacks in because the book ends with Gabby taking snacks down to the cyborg and talking to it while it's seemingly unconscious. Because apparently, even though it's shackled up, the Beast did not think about putting any type of security cameras in there where a potential killing machine might wake up and start shooting things. Might want to have an alert system on that. Anyway, this issue it's actually not bad. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I mentioned in the previous video, Mariko wants to do a Honey Badger book, and it shows. And you know what? It is actually kind of enjoyable. This is one of the first times I really enjoyed her scenes. Her just the psychopath, because she can't be hurt, and she is a child. I would want to follow her. I would, if she had a solo book, I'd read it. Trying to, she's overly energetic. She's still young. She's hyper, but she's a trained killer. That's interesting, and she's a kind of a happy nature. She's not sullen or moody like you see with Laura in this book. She starts having flashbacks about, being a killing machine. And, she, Honey Badger, Gabby is kind of like a breath of fresh air in this book. It would be so depressing otherwise. And it's actually kind of fun to watch her. I'll admit, I'm warming up to her. And I'm warming up to the idea that if Mariko Tamaki wrote a Honey Badger solo, I'd be down for that. And if they got this artist, I really like the art in this book. So the art gives it a plus. But yeah, I gotta take away points. X-23, this is Laura's book, not Gabby's. It's not X-23 and Honey Badger. It's X-23. And yeah, she's been focusing more and more on Gabby. And again, it's not a bad thing. The parts we do have with this are enjoyable. And I would like to see this little psycho girl, her adventures, and It'd be kind of like, she, guts some people and then goes eat some Frosted Flakes. Like nothing happened. Like, okay, let's go get donuts. And that was fun. So, yeah, I kind of enjoyed it for that. Okay, but that panel's creepy. Um, but I said about, I have a feeling this book's about to be canceled because this is what we saw with the She-Hulk series. It was pretty X-23 wasn't as bad as the first few issues of X-23 weren't as bad as the She-Hulk ones. Those were really bad. And then we had that kind of one issue, kind of goofy fill-in with She-Hulk. It was a date night with this one. It was going to the school, and which was so bad. And then it seemed like the ship righted itself. It seems like that was in that book, and I said in my She-Hulk reviews at that time, it seemed like editorial had talked to Mariko. And it seems that way with this. Like, okay, you can't do this. Let's give you a little hand. Let's guide you. Try and go down this route. And then the book got canceled when it was actually starting to get better. When Mariko had shaken off whatever she was trying to do and had someone tell her, no, you can't indulge yourself. You have to make this for other people, not just for yourself. And yeah, this book was not bad. I was surprised. I went in expecting it to be dumb, and yeah, we do have some of the Mariko tropes in here, but like I said in the She-Hulk, she shows improvement. Backslides at the beginning of this, and then shows improvement. And I have a feeling this is going to be canceled. So, hey, you know what? If this gets canceled and gets replaced with a Honey Badger book, especially with the same creative team, if it's the same artist and writer, I'd be okay with that. I really enjoy the art in this book. So yeah, I am giving this about somewhere between a two, right, yeah, around two. I give it around a two. Not quite one. Not quite three. It's not. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm giving this a 2 o'clock. So anyway, I will be back. We have Avengers, new issue of Avengers, and I am dreading it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you later.